WA Black Belt Conquest, the next amateur boxing league. USA Boxing is the amateur boxing league or competition. And we're wondering, wow, they go up the ante on this whole thing. You know what I mean by they say up the ante? Let me explain something to you. First of all, how amateur boxers compete. Headgear. Boxing jerseys shaped like basketball jerseys. Shorts. Shoes, gloves, mouthpiece. Guards. But when I found out about this, it seemed like USA Boxing and WBC got together and formed this, the Green Belt Challenge. Okay, let's see how to explain this next part. The Green Belt Challenge. WBC it seemed like when USA Boxing teamed up with WBC, a pro boxing organization, to create an amateur league for amateur boxers who want the green belt. The green belt now, you know what I mean by I say the green belt. I'm talking about not just any belt. I'm talking about the green belt, the belt that you put around your waist as a pro boxer. Not only that, USA Boxing and WBC teamed up to make a deal with Title Boxing to create this World Boxing Champion title belt. The amateur boxing WBC title belt. It's like wow factor. I mean, if WBC teamed up with USA Boxing to make sure they create this World Boxing title belt for amateur boxers, they had to build a league for it. I mean, you can't get out a pro boxing title and say, "Hey, buddy, yeah, you can't have that around your waist." Then create amateur league, which means that's what they did. WBC amateurs. I mean, USA Boxing had to do something to help out certain boxers who want to achieve this belt, and that's where the Green Belt Challenge came in. I mean, not only a belt but also a medal, an amateur boxing outfit, and those who want to compete for it. I mean, if you want to have champions who say have skills for it, you might just join, well, this man, Mr. Sugar Bird. I mean, the WBC Green Belt Challenge, you didn't have to come up with this unless you talk to a guy at a tournament and say, "Hey, you want to join us and make this Green Belt Challenge?" All right. I mean, to prove that it took pro boxers and many other amateur boxing organizations and tournaments, man, you had to have somebody who's a son of a pro boxer, and that is Pat Patman Jr. Oh yeah, Like father, like son. Pac-Man Jr. holds the belt. So, just like how they did for WBC amateur boxers to have true boxing champions, why don't they do the same thing for WBA? But we gotta call it something. We gotta call it something, okay? First of all, this guy who's holding this miniature boxing WBA boxing belt ain't right. Cause see, if USA Boxing got together with WBC and created amateur league, they gotta do the same thing. USA Boxing gotta do the same thing with the World Boxing Association, aka WBA. But you know what? There's a problem. And I see why he didn't do it though. Sooner or later. See, if you want to hold a belt that said kings have held, and I mean kings, Mike Tyson, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston, Floyd Patterson, I am talking about the greatest. I am talking about Joe Louis, George Foreman, Joe Frazier. And they want to hold the belt as an amateur boxer, you gotta create a amateur league. I mean, not WBA future champions. That don't sound right. You gotta create WBA black belt conquest. I mean, you already got a big green belt, so why do you call it black belt? But see, there's a problem. How can we make this a black belt conquest competition? Like how USA Boxing and WBC, the pro boxing organization, did. They should do the same thing. I mean, the triple crowns of champion title belt 2 doesn't look familiar. I mean, come on. I did a video on this before. Does it not look familiar? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. You know how I know it looks familiar? Because it's the same size as the WBA pro boxing title. Look at it. Do you not see it? The 2 crowns on the end, the big crown in the middle. The only thing that's missing is just the sign of the WBA in the middle. They already got the 2 fighters on the end of the circle. The only thing that's missing is the globe. That's the only thing that's different about the belt. If they was to do that, the Triple Crown of Champions title belt 2, future WBA champions, nah. How about this? The WBA Black Belt Conquest competition. If they was to create like that, boom, they could hold a belt just like that. They only have to do Triple Crown of Champions title belt version 3.0. That's all I say for it. Cause see, by the time they would have done that, they would have changed the title of future WBA champions to, like I said before, and I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna say it a third time. WBA Amateur Black Belt Conquest. Enough said. Cause by that time, these amateur boxers who have done this, you have been a champion. I'm your boy, Chris Blackthorn Harris. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, like, share, leave a comment below. Tell me think about this boxing video. Cause when it comes to my boxing skills, I know how to knuckle up.